Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know some of you guys are like, whoa, finally, whoa, finally. Friend, if it's not the DMs that I get, when is Katli coming back? Does Katli have social media? Does Katli...
So much love.
She's back. 2 years later, my friend is back and I'm so excited to have you
friend, you know,
on
I
this
love
channel.
being here. I love being here.
So obviously we have to do things, you know, via the inspiration of the Holy Spirit. So I didn't just want to have you back because the crowd said encore. But a particular topic came and I was like, okay Lord, who's chopping this one up? And my dear friend is sitting here today.
Yeah.
So this particular conversation was also I didn't listen to the full podcast, but I saw this other YouTuber. She's a Christian YouTuber. They have a podcast with the husband, Milena. I don't want to butcher her surname. I don't know how to say it.
Okay.
And she was talking about boundaries with her husband. And I thought it would be great to speak about boundaries, but also in a more practical sense. So there are scenarios where people have spoken about their different boundaries that we're also going to talk about and just elaborate further. So that's what it's going to be about. So the boundaries in our relationship, the different boundaries that people have, and we're just going to add our 2 cents to say whether we agree or disagree. We are not setting the law, we're having conversation.
Absolutely.
And through having conversation and explaining maybe where we come from, you guys will be able to understand why we say this, say that, and maybe you can adopt some of the boundaries in your own, because I think every relationship needs some sort of boundaries, you know, whether it's things that you guys are definitely going to do, you're not going to compromise, you know, whether it is that thing of, look, whether it's your birthday, we're going to celebrate, that is a boundary. But then there's also the other extreme of a boundary where this is something that we're not going to do. For example, if you're married, or another one boundary is we're not going to say the divorce word. We're not saying that. Those are the boundaries that we're going to talk about today.
Exciting.
So they will apply, I think they will apply whether you're in a relationship, because even in a relationship you need boundaries. It's not just for marriage, you know. So we're here to have a great chat around those things. Are you excited?
Super excited. I love these conversations.
Of course, we love these conversations. One thing about Katli, no, she can talk
forever until you say, okay, please, we get it.
No, we were talking before this and we were like, dude, we're running out of time. So we're gonna get started. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Do all of those things, and more than anything, enjoy. One of the first boundaries that have been mentioned, or someone mentioned, is that once an argument is done, they don't bring it up again.
Okay.
Thoughts. And obviously some of the stuff are stuff that I know that I probably still struggle with even today, but we're gonna talk about it. And how valid is it? I
think it's biblical.
Okay.
That you can't keep a record of wrongs, right? Love doesn't keep a record of wrongs. However, it's the spirit in which the conversation is had in. For me, it's not, Limavan, you did ABCD. Last year we thought about the same thing, and you did this, and it's a culture, you're not stopping. But it's around, you know, a conversation of understanding. Babe, I see this is a pattern in our relationship. How can we see that we get, you know, do this better? This is a concern. It's a repetitive behavior, because you're not attacking the person. You're actually just talking about a behavior that's problematic in your relationship. So I just think, you know, it's not black on white to say you don't ever talk about it again. But I think it's about how do you talk about it? Because I know in my relationship, after an argument, we'll debrief. But next time when things are clear on a dinner table and we're happy, we'll bring it up. Hey babe, actually that day, like, why did that thing touch you so much? Why is that a trigger for you? And because now we're in a neutral space, we're actually able to be
angry.
Open
you
about
can think much more clearer.
Yes, and there are some things that you even learn about yourself. Oh babe, that was actually a trigger. I don't understand why. Oh, perhaps it's because when I grew up at home, my parents used to do this, and that's why maybe when you don't do it, I don't see it in the manner, you know, that you're probably presenting it. So I don't think it's like black and white. It's just the spirit in which you raise the conversation in. You know, is it coming from a place of, I want to understand you, I don't want this to continue, this behavior is not good for us, or keeping a record. Last week you did this, now it's 2015, in 2005, you know, now that's keeping a record, you know.
I like what you said. like you said,
Yeah.
we are learning. Even I'm like, okay, now that makes sense. I'm like, yeah. One thing about me, I'm gonna be dragged on this video. The Holy Spirit's just gonna drag me. She's gonna be like, you see? One thing I like is just the spirit behind it, because sometimes offenses can be repeat offenses, but sometimes that's because the other person is still learning.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
But because we're so impatient and that weakness is not our weakness, we're like, but you did the same thing last time, and then again this time, and then I think the manner, like you said, the manner in which we raise it up, I think that's an amazing
And the
topic.
nice thing as well, just to add there, it takes time. I think I used to be that person who kept record of wrongs, even if I never voiced it out in my head.
Sometimes it's not intentional.
Yes, like I'm out here calculating you in my head, and I saw how I became a slave to offenses and taking offense. Like, actually taking offense is a sin. It's sinful to take offense. So we constantly have to check our character and check ourselves to say, Lord, why am I taking offense? Is this a problem with me, or it's actually an issue that we need to deal with in our relationship? So I think actually relationships teach us more about ourselves. It teaches us more about building our own character and how can I be better for me so I can be better for the relationship and a better parent and a better friend. But that starts with the real conversation to understand, why is it triggering me? Why am I offended? You know?
Sure.
So yeah.
And I think I'm just remembering now, TD Jake say, you know, when we are most impatient with people when they suffer in a place that is a strength for us.
Sure.
So we have no patience for them. We don't understand why they're struggling with something, because that's not our struggle. But where we are struggling, we want people to be patient with us, you know, so that now it just makes sense.
Sure. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Drag number 1. Let's get dragged again. The next one was someone said that they don't correct one another in front of people. So maybe a situation comes up or something brews, you know, when you're with people, something brews at that time. They won't correct their partner or one another at that time. They will wait until they get home or get into a more private environment to correct and discuss that particular situation.
Key boundary. I love that boundary. I've used that boundary in my home, you know. We got that from marriage counseling. I don't know if you got that as well from marriage counseling, but it's so important. Or you have to have signals, guys. Like, I know me and my husband have this look, like, we're going to talk about this later time.
Mid-crowd, you're like...
Yeah, like... And then you keep it moving, you know. So I think you need to either have signals.
I think that's a good one. Yeah,
have signals. You know, if you're sitting next to each other under the table, just like that nudge, like don't go there, dog. Like, you know. But he must know, not that they go by. Why are you doing that? Do you know what I'm saying? So I think it's very important to protect each other, because we don't react the same way to being corrected. Some people are defensive. Now your partner starts being defensive in a crowd of people, and people are like, get the popcorn, it's about to start. Yeah. So like, you just want to protect your love. You want to protect your partner, you know, even in his weaknesses, cover it with love, and, you know, have a moment to be like, okay, babe, maybe let's not go there, or that ain't cool, you know. But when you go home, also timing, guys. I promise you, friend, I started going timing. Like, timing is everything, guys. You have to have wisdom. Pray for the spirit of timing, whether you're a male or female in your relationship. Timing is everything, because maybe even after that event, it might not be the suitable time. Yeah, especially because we're tired. We go to work. You know, your partner's worked 12 hours. Then you want to discuss. I've just worked for 12 hours. You know, find the right time to have the right conversation when someone is clear-headed and like you're able to voice out your opinion, and always check yourself. Like, where's this coming from? Am I angry? Do I want to fight? You know, there are times where you're like, I want to start something. But there are times where you're like, okay, I actually want to talk about this so that we can fix this thing. Like, babe, you know, the other day you said A, B, C, D, and you said it in front of this person, and I didn't find that okay. You know, that didn't sit well with me. You know, and understand maybe why he said that. But like, I love that boundary. Don't ever correct each other like in front of people, unless you guys find a way to do it in a very respectful way. We need to get signals. I'm like, Kevin, I don't have signals. Maybe we need to be like, cuckoo. No, but we have a look.
We need to see what our signal is.
Yeah,
that's a good one, because sometimes, and we've said it jokingly though, not deep. It's never been deep things, but sometimes jokingly, like Kev will like just throw in like a joke, you know, and I'm just like, but
that ain't right.
No,
don't do it.
No, it's our joke. It's not joke for the people. Yeah, you see, so it's not that deep. And then I'm telling him like, babe, and it's not a deep thing. Like,
yeah,
really.
But it was just like, that was from you.
I think a signal would have worked perfectly, because I would have been like, and then he's like, okay.
He's like, oh yeah.
And I think even for me, because I think there's times where maybe I might even have said something that he was like, you
see now.
This girl, and I wouldn't have to, because I'm excited or I'm just saying something. So signals
are everything. Like, check each other, that eye contact, you know, you can have conversation with your eyes. I even do it with my kids. Like, when they start misbehaving, they know what I'm saying. The whole
they know.
So
when is following your ex on social media or still being in contact with an ex-partner? Now, this is obviously not going to be like, this is not like biblical or anything, but let's just understand why. I for one don't recommend.
Yeah.
I know for me personally, I feel like it's a no, you know, but we have friends who are very happy to still be in contact with their ex and all that stuff and talk to them or whatever the case may be. What's your take?
I think communication when it comes to that is very key. Like, you know, you guys know, my partner came into a marriage with a child. So there's no way I can say no communication with your ex-partner, because we're raising a child together. But I don't feel like it's important for us to follow each other on social media. Like, how's that got to do anything with the child? How is that
benefiting?
Yes, so I think you just have to communicate. But, you know, outside of a situation where you're raising a child together, I think that it's a no. Like, why are you doing that? You know, because we're people, we do get tempted to kind of go check again. Who is he dating now? Like, what is he doing? Why put yourself under that kind of pressure? It could raise insecurities for your partner as well. What if you're dating a really wealthy person and your partner's not as wealthy? I'm just using wealth as an example. Or someone who has more confidence than your current partner. That's a hazard. You know, for me, I just prefer to keep things as clean as possible.
100%.
You know, less complicated. You know, you break up with someone, break up with them. Don't keep their number.
And sometimes it's clean. It's not like I'm mad at you. I just don't want to follow you. You know, I just want to create. You know, make sure that my space is healthy. And I also, for me, I just want to also accommodate my partner in that. But not only them. Outside of them, even before I met Kev, I was like, we're not following each other on social media. I'm that person of, when I close doors, we must close everything.
Absolutely.
Know?
And it's not that you hate them.
It's not. It really isn't, because I could probably bump into that person on the street and be like, oh, hi,
how are you doing?
Great.
But there's no need for texting. I know a lot of friends or people who be like, no, my partner still speaks to his ex and like, they're just friends. But the person has an issue, because like, why are they still texting? What are they talking about? That already makes you insecure as the new partner, because it's like, what are they talking about? Yeah, we can talk about, you know, how's your kid doing, or how's the pets, but like, no, why? Like, what are we talking about? What's the base?
I think especially as human beings, right? And again, we're not saying do this, do that. We're just sharing our point of view. I believe there's a time where when I used to blog on like Tumblr, and I was inspired to write this piece, you know, the foot in the door principle, right? That it can be this small thing, right? Let's say someone is coming to your house and is on the other side of the door, and it's much more safer when you don't open the door. But once you've opened it a bit, you might want to close it, but that person might have their foot in the door, and that's all that you need. That's all a person needs to get into your life and to cause a mess. And I'm not saying it's all your exes that want to cause a mess in your life, but sometimes even by you keeping certain doors open, especially when you know that you had this shared love with this person, right?
You have a story.
You might think that, you know what, it's just ashes. there's no whatever. But that's why they say don't put hot ash in a dustbin, because it could just set things ablaze, right?
That's right.
So I just feel like, you know, just keep it closed.
Yeah, and also my opinion is, guys, I'm radical. Exes are dangerous. Like, exes are dangerous. Someone who has a story with you and like has some history with you, not that you don't have self-control, but like what were you saying? Don't have access, don't leave the foot in the door principle. Like, just don't do it, you know. I think it's wisdom when you're able to do stuff like that. It's not from a place of hate, but it's from a place of you need to continue with your life. Because also sometimes we build soul ties, you know, with soul ties with the words that we speak. Oh, I'm gonna marry you. Or,
you're my love forever.
The love of my life. Those words stick. There are some people who are actually married. They're not aware because they said words like that. You know?
They said vows. You know
exactly. And we're in love, and you're in love. You don't think that this thing is gonna end, and then it ends. But you guys didn't have the opportunity to break those soul ties. Now you have a foot in the door. You're chatting to this person, you keep reigniting that thing. That's why people say, I can't stop dreaming about my ex.
Sure.
I can't stop thinking about my ex. No, it's those foot in the door. If someone keeps popping up, how are you going to close the chapter? You know, so I'm radical. I'm actually saying, no, guys, please don't talk.
Also, personally, I would not recommend. You know, personally, I just wouldn't recommend. But we're just here to be like the big sisters.
Yes.
Essentially, it's your life. You do what you want.
Yeah, we're just sharing our opinion.
Wouldn't recommend. Okay, someone spoke about one of their boundaries is turning off devices or TVs or whatever the case may be, so that they can spend quality time. So being intentional about saying in their relationship, this is a no phone zone, this is a no whatever zone. I think I can appreciate this one is because it's something that in the beginning, you know, I think personally with Kevin and I, we had to try and navigate because it took away from our quality time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And especially in this world of social media, we end up falling in love with our devices and giving our devices more attention than, you know, our partners.
People,
yeah.
I think it's also, for me, it's not a black or white. I think it's very gray for me.
Okay.
That reason being, we have families, we have parents, someone needs to access you on the phone sometimes, so you can't exactly say, I'm just going to put my phone away completely. It probably has to be there, not on silent or whatever. I'm just saying that there are people who depend on us in life. Like, I'm a mom, the school could be calling me or whatever. But in terms of watching TV, I found that me and my partner love watching movies together. It's our thing.
Yes,
you know,
yes,
it's quality time for me. I really enjoy watching movies together. We laugh about it. If it's something that we learn from, we even discuss it afterwards. Like 2 hours after the movies ended, we're still going on.
It was so nice.
It was so great. So I think it depends, you know, but there's also that quality time. Like, we're on a date. There's nothing that makes me more upset.
You're on a date. It's been so sad.
Yeah, and you're sitting across each other and you're both on your cell phones. Like, okay, now that's no. Like, no, there's a place for it, you know. I think if you're on a date, you're sharing dinner together, you want to talk to each other. There's so much value in having conversations. And I also don't have social media. My husband has Instagram. So sometimes when we look at memes, I'll lay on his chest and like we'll look at memes together. I will have a blast, the laugh of my life. 2 a.m. Baby, look at this is funny. So that's also quality time for me. That's why I'm saying it's not like you can't say yes or no. It's the context in which it is done. But I think, you know, excessively, that's a problem.
Then another boundary that someone said that they set is that they make decisions with one another, not with their friends first or their parents, but they make decisions with one another first. And I think this one is a one that can be easily overlooked because you're like, oh yeah, duh.
Yeah.
But I even in my own fault realize that I agree to plans that we make with friends before saying, oh babe, by the way, did we, you know, what's your take on this? And I think the reason why we don't take it seriously is that people, especially our generation that are married or young or in a relationship or on some, why must we ask indoda for permission, you know?
Babes.
And I understand that, you know, but I don't think it's permission. Because in the beginning I used to be like, why do you always have to discuss with your husband first? Just say, well, you're coming or you're not coming. No, I still have to speak to hubby.
Yeah.
But now I'm understanding the importance of speaking to one another because you may have had plans, or he may have been planning something, or even if he was not planning anything and the day was just to sit outside with you and count grass.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a plan.
It's the courtesy to say, dude, because you're no longer one, you're no longer I guess.
You're actually, you know, one with another person. I love that boundary. I think oftentimes we practice that in the start of the relationship because it's new. Baby, get like okay. No, oh, baby, you know. And then as after 3-4 years, it's like you know. Yes, but I feel like it's important to keep cultivating that. It's not permission. I just think it's respect for one another firstly, and I think it's building a good culture of communication in your relationship, no matter how small, no matter how big, you know, if it's going out with the friends, you know, you don't even have to say to your friends, because sometimes people make you feel uncomfortable about what you have as boundaries in your relationship with your partner. You don't have to say, I have to speak to hubby. You can be like, oh, I'll just have to check my schedule, guys. I'll get back to you, you know? Because sometimes people make you feel uncomfortable about their stuff. Wait, now you always have to talk to your husband. But they don't know the dynamics. It's not because your husband's a bully or your wife is a bully. No, it's because you have an agreement in your home that whatever that you agree to doing, it's a conversation. Even before you agree on taking a role, like I know in my home, my husband will get so many offers. But we talk about it at home first. Like, you know, babe, do you think this is viable? Leaving a country and you guys are going to be living so far. Is that what we want? I'm going to see you on weekends. No, actually, the money's not worth it. We decline it, you know. Same with me. If I get an offer, we'll discuss it at home. And it takes a lot of vulnerability. Sometimes it takes a lot of sacrifice to be like, oh God, I actually really wanted that. But is that valuable for our relationship?
But how does that then work? Or how does the notion, you know, when some people would say that they don't agree to that conversation being had because they are the head. So for example, I know hubby has come to you with many offers to say, yo, I got an offer here. What are the pros and cons? What is it looking like for our family? And you guys can sit and have that conversation. Whereas someone would be like, I'm the head of the home. This is the vision. This is my life. We're going ahead with it. How do you balance that conversation?
You're still the support. You're still the support. He might be the head, but I'm still here as the support, you know. It doesn't mean because you're the head you don't have to relay information back to me. We're still partners. Actually, the word of God does say you submit to each other. It's there in Ephesians. Normally in marriage counseling in church, we'll say, oh, the woman must submit. All good and well. But before that, it says submit to one another. So that means in every way, in every shape or form. Because sometimes there's a wisdom and intuition that God has given me as your partner that is valuable for your life, you know. And I often find that if you have a stubborn partner who doesn't want to hear it and think I'm the alpha male, I promise you, Holy Spirit is gang for real. Like, you can go to the Holy Spirit and pray about it and be, Lord, soften his heart, you know. He needs to be able to hear me. If it's not me, soften his heart, you know. Or find, I don't know if this is the right way, find the right person that you can tell, like, bruh, can you just nudge it in this way, until he builds that rapport with you. Because sometimes when a relationship is new, you'll find that your partner hears the sister more than he can hear you. But you have to find a way to start being the person that he hears better. But you build that over time. He's been the sister for 20, 30 years. You've been the wife for a year. So it takes time. And I'm not saying it's about hierarchy or whatever, but everything takes time. But I do believe, friend, that the Holy Spirit is a great partner in relationship. If you really have a kingdom relationship, whether married or not, you need to start involving him. You can't do it alone. Marriage and relationship is from God. So you need to start partnering with him so that he can guide us in things like this.
One of the boundaries they have is that once they get into an argument, they need to fix it right away. That is a boundary that they've set. That is something that they have said, that this is what we're going to do every time we get into an argument. For them, they feel like it helps it so that they don't drift apart even further. Because I think the further you allow certain things to linger, sometimes you leave it for too long and it's too far gone. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a beautiful boundary. I don't know how practical all the time, but I do think it's a beautiful boundary to have. If you can try and practice it, that will be all wonderful. You know, also never go to bed upset. Like, don't do it. Although we fall into that trap, but like, it's a really lovely boundary. But sometimes it depends on the weight of the argument,
situation.
of the situation, and your partner's character. You know, some people want to draw back after an argument and keep quiet so that they don't say something that's going to be detrimental to the relationship. Some people internalize stuff like they don't know how to vocalize it at the time. They're just like, please give me time. The more you push them to say, no, we must fix this thing now, it actually pulls it apart, you know. So I think wisdom, play it by ear, understand each other, but I think it's a beautiful boundary. If you can practice that, go with it. It keeps the flame. I know my mom used to lock me and my sister in the room. If we were fighting when we were speaking, she'll lock. They're just like, you know, which was great. And I went into my marriage with that thing, and my partner was not like that. To him, it's like, I'm mad. I want to stay mad. You know, and I'm like, no, you need to talk to me. Da, da, da. It worked in my favor that it taught him not to be angry for too long, you know. But I know when to push and I know when not to push. If it's something too deep and we still need unpacking, we wait it out. You know, it doesn't mean now you're going to move out the bedroom, you're leaving the house. No. It's none of that drama. But it's just understanding the depth.
Is moving out the bedroom a boundary?
Yes!
One thing about me.
One thing about
I'm
me.
joking.
No, guys. Don't move out of your bedrooms. I feel like it starts with the bedroom. No, it starts with the couch. If you have a couch in your room, it starts with him sleeping on the couch. Then it's at the door in your room to the living room. Then it's at your house.
You don't believe in space?
No.
Like, I need you.
No, you can. Marula lela. La la la.
That time you're on the rim of the bed. Yo,
fine,
if your toe touches me, bro.
It's fine, friend.
It's so annoying.
It's fine.
No, that's very hard for me
deal
to
with
do,
yourself.
especially when that's very hard for me because that's one of the things from dating that I had to. At least the nice thing about dating is that you go on there,
you go to your house,
here,
yeah,
and then we'll talk via text. But now you're here.
You're in the same house. You share that bed.
And you dinner ways because you're eating chips.
If you have a problem, buy a king side extra large. He'll sleep there. It's fine. But you're on my bed.
40,000.
He'll sleep there. But you're on the same bed. I don't believe in opening doors.
Those doors.
Don't open those doors. It's like another boundary for me. I don't know if it's there, but like for me, it's like hanging up. Don't hang up on me.
On the phone.
Don't do it. Like,
oh, I'm not gonna comment because I'm guilty. So
don't do it. For me, it speaks into that respect for one another. For me, I get livid. Like I boil. It's the worst thing for me. Let me finish speaking. Babe, I'm not in the space to talk right now. Can I put down the phone so I can calm down and I'll call you back? Don't hang up on me. Because now we're opening a door to, hi. It's like, you know, and it makes things worse. Like, don't hang the phone up on me. Like, that's a boundary for me. Like, no matter how upset you are, you rather say, I'm extremely angry. Please, I don't want to talk to you. Don't hang up on me. Because it comes into, I hang up, tomorrow I can say a swear word. You know, like, I can't read. Like, those things. Again, I don't recommend that.
You wouldn't recommend drag me, but sometimes I'm just like, yo, wang bora wanak. No. Like, are you done?
Are you done? I'm gonna put done now. Yeah, okay. But don't cut someone while they're speaking.
No, not cutting.
Like I can't, guys.
No,
don't do
not
that.
Cutting. I think I'm not gonna. I think before, like way before, because you know, we always one of the things where I know that I was getting worked on a lot was in the department of anger. Yeah. Right. I remember way back then, and I remember even when we came from a sleepover at your house, and we're going to drop off Mabus. We're going to drop off Jess. Busi was driving.
Okay.
And I don't know what we were talking about, but it got to that place of like, you know, oh, I don't know whether I asked the question, guys, have I changed or something like that.
Yeah.
But then Mabus was like, dude, you're much more like calm. Like
the vibe.
You're so.
Yeah.
And I was like, what was I before? And I think I was really like, just like ready to roll.
Yes,
like,
you were like,
very like, oh my gosh, it's too much.
No patience,
know?
Yeah.
No patience, no nothing. So in that department, yeah, the Holy Spirit is working on, and I think he's come like quite a long way.
A long way, true.
Like, at least, you know, it's lasting. But it's not yet full. And that's why some things are just like, I don't want to be triggered.
Yes, don't trigger me.
That's why I choose to. I don't want to find myself in an environment where I'm upset. Don't anger me. Don't push me. I'm not gonna push you. If you bore me, it's fine.
But sometimes the pushing is necessary to cultivate the right character. You have to be pushed to know how to exercise the muscle.
Yo, nka scream.
You have to be pushed.
Okay, I
to
hear
exercise
you. No, but I hear you. I hear you.
The right muscle.
I hear you.
Because how do you know you're patient if you didn't
If you're
have to
not pushed.
exercise patience? How do you know I'm calm in situations that are detrimental if you're not faced with the situation?
Don't get enemies. Just get a real friend who can still drag you. And drag you on your own platform. But we did say it's gonna be a teachable moment because I know a lot of the boundary stuff. I'm still like,
And also, it's hard, guys. Like, it's hard. Some of these things we do in pain. It pains me. I get upset and I want to hang up on someone, but I'm like, you know what? I have to listen. There are times where you say, I wanna. But the Holy Spirit's like, that's not your language. You don't say that. You know what I'm saying? But like, you just don't want to open the wrong door. You know, me and my husband made this analogy the other day. It was so powerful. We like, when you speak to people of authority in your life, like your boss at work, your parents, your pastors, your leaders, there are certain things you'll never say.
of course.
There's certain things you will never do in front of those people. Why don't we hold our partners to that esteem? And then we say, no, it's because I'm free and I'm myself, and he knows, like, it is what it is. No, but you need to take care of what you have. Take care of your love. Once you start, putting those lenses to say, I need to cultivate this thing. You start taking care of it. You start placing it in a different esteem, And I used to sometimes side-eye a woman who used to say, Baba. And I'd be like, extra.
Losers for life.
But like, there's something in that. It's
Okay,
so precious that you want to. Love is so delicate, guys. The more we keep pushing boundaries, we're taking love out the door.
That's a good one. And you guys touched on something true. Some of us will never speak to our, let alone bosses, our pastors.
Your pastor.
Like that. Like,
you wouldn't
do that. You wouldn't even roll your eye. Like, you wouldn't. And
but you're out here banging doors on your partner. No, cultivate that love. Even in your anger, exercise the muscle. It's painful. There are times where I do it and I go to God and I'm like, but Jesus, why am I the one who's woke in this relationship? I also want to just be, But if God has given you the grace at the point that He has,
that time.
Take it. One day He's gonna step up. There's so many different levels in relationship. 30 years is not a joke of marriage. 40 years, 60 years of marriage is not a joke. And there are times where you're weak and the other's stronger. There are times where God will give you more grace.
More grace.
To manage those things. There'll be times where I'm like, today I don't want to be the strong one. And He'll step up, But when God has given you the grace, take it. If you can be the bigger person, take that loser side.
Take the L. I'm here.
Be here
every day of my life. You must just be a loser.
Yeah, that's your grace for that time. And like, it's hard to swallow, especially young married people with like all the social media and everyone
100%.
telling you,
know your
woman, know your worth. And then you want to go with that vibe even in your home.
It's not about being, and that's the thing, it's not about being disrespected or abused. I think that's the thing. But when you're in a situation where both of you are hot and heavy, remember, context is key.
Yeah.
When you know that, okay, I'm calm, I'm more, and I can see that this person's not understanding me and is reacting for the wrong thing. Like you're because a lot of our arguments or a lot of arguments happen just because you guys are not on the same page.
Yes. Yeah.
And sometimes you have the grace to see that, okay, we are definitely not on the same page. Now, you're fighting about rugby, I'm talking about cricket.
Yeah.
Way two different sports.
Yes.
Like you can't even compare the two. And sometimes when you have the grace for that, just say, okay, I hear you. Let's just give it some time. We'll regroup. And then I'll explain to you. Or just say, look, I think we're on the two different pages. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm talking about cricket. You're talking about rugby. So let's wait until we are both talking about rugby. Let's smash it. Get rid of it. And then we'll talk about cricket, because sometimes you can really go ahead and be like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah.
We don't know. We're arguing about something that we don't even know.
And constantly sometimes wanting to be right. At what expense? You want to be right. You want to win the argument. At what cost? Then what? He's sleeping in the other room. Like, what's the point? I'm just like, at what cost do you want to win, you know? And maybe I'm different because I lead differently in my home, you know, and my partner leads differently, but like I'm always, okay, is this worth it? You know, sometimes when he's all fired up, he'll ask himself, okay, is this worth it? And I've seen that, you know, like where he'll come, we mirror each other. We have no idea how much our partners teach us, you know. A certain behavior that he does that is correct, I'll mirror. A certain correct behavior that I do that's correct, he'll mirror, you know. But those are things that take time. And I think sometimes we look at great relationships that we aspire to be like people who've been together for 30 years. 45 years. We see 45 years. We don't see year 10,
we
year 12.
We don't see also the work, the moments of buttons being pushed and actually exercising.
And how do they show up in the buttons that get pushed? Because a certain word can collapse everything. Talking about my dad or your father's one. I've done those mistakes. You know, that's why I love...
Which is a boundary.
Yes, I love like edifying other women or people to say there's certain mistakes you don't have to do. Learn from other people's mistakes. I used to pull those triggers like, you know, you don't say stuff like, it's a boundary of note. Like, don't ever bring up whatever struggles they had at his home or name drop his parents in an argument. It's because your dad or your aunt, those things are triggers. Like, don't do it. It becomes a problem for the rest of your life, you know. So I feel like, watch your words, be delicate, take care of the love that you have, you know. Even if things don't work out, you know you've done your part in terms of you didn't say words that you can never take back. You know, you can't take back words. Even after you said it, you say, okay, I'm sorry. That person's gonna...
You've still cracked the mirror. You've still broken the glass. Even if you put glue, it's very much visible. You might still use it, but you can always see that's where I cracked the glass. So you don't mess up something, you know, and feel like you have to do more work to fix it. Than when you could have just...
I'm not going to say it.
Which again, we are learning. Being dragged.
We really are. No, but we're both learning, friend. And I also had to learn to be more assertive to thrive. You know, sometimes when you're this person who's like, no, it's okay, I understand, and you're zen, and you're like, it's okay. It's, you know, I can hear you out. Sometimes you have to learn to be firm and say, no, that's not what I want. You won't talk to me like that. You're not going to leave and not tell me where you're going. You're not gonna, you know. Sometimes those are the things. Those are the things. Maybe your boundary is that, you know. You can do that with your friends, but I'm not your friend. You know, you can leave and say, show me pinch and gallivant and whatever. But when it comes to me, there needs to be a certain level of respect, and maybe communication is a boundary that we'll always communicate. That we're not gonna not do the communicating thing, because I can't pick up in the spirit where you are. No,
I'm not going to keep
and it's not a control thing. It's just a thing of, I care about you. I want to know that you're safe. We're raising a family together. If you do have a family, you know, if something happens, I need to know that I can rely on you, your whereabouts, whatever. If something happens, I know where you are. You know, there's nothing worse than someone visiting your house. Oh, where's your partner? And you're like,
I don't know.
You know, so I just feel like it's good habits. It's really good habits, and I think boundaries are so important, and we keep revisiting them. Sometimes when you start, you'll have these set of boundaries, and then as time goes, you're like, baby, let's relook at that thing. You know, those frank conversations, guys, I promise you, we don't have to go about life nonchalant and so when I can be deliberate, have deliberate conversations about what do we want to expose our kids to. You know, we even start doing that with our children now. We sit down and we say, this is what we allow in our home, this is what we don't allow. My kids know there are certain channels they don't watch, and when they're at someone's house, they'll even come back, mommy, you know, mama was watching this, you know. So because they know that in our home there's certain things we don't do, and you have to be deliberate because you're raising, you know, a generation of people, and what you do in your home will influence their life forever. So you have to be deliberate, and you have to be clear-headed.
Time is never enough. Friend, time is never enough. It's never ever enough, and we can't get through everything, but there's so many boundaries. I think it's maybe for you and your partner, just sit one day. It doesn't have to be deep, guys. Don't make things deep, because you know, when you're supposed to have a really good conversation, I think when you intensify it, people have their guard up and it's like, you know, why are you saying that, you know? Always, I think it's important to have boundaries, and I think it's also for us to go back to the drawing board and be like, actually, I think we've broken down a lot of walls, a lot of boundaries that we may have put up, be it the boundary of honesty, because honesty in itself is a boundary. I think in all aspects, when I say that, for example, you could have that thing of no matter what, we're going to be honest, even if it's, you know, the truth is going to hurt or it's going to put you in trouble, but that boundary is honesty. You can definitely be honest. Another boundary is, you know, we're not going to be vulgar to one another. We're not going to hit one another. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do that. I think those are boundaries that could be revisited, because I think once you do that and put these laws in place, dare I say them, you say like 10 commandments or whatever, like in this home we're not going to do, establish that what's going to work for your home, what are those 10 commandments for your relationship, for your home, and put those boundaries. And even if they're as light as, you know, we're going to make sure that we have dinner together, because that's something that is important for us. And when we're eating dinner, we're not watching TV, we're sitting at the table, we're engaging. That can be a boundary, because it's also building a relationship, you know. And you make sure that, you know what, because I know that my mom has that thing of, if my dad's not home, she's not eating dinner.
Yes, babe.
I'm here. Oh, mama, okay, shut.
I love that.
No, I used to do that. I think I used to do that. I think only after I got pregnant, I'm like, dude, I cannot wait. I'm gonna pass out. And I think even now with the baby, because we're on such a tight schedule, sometimes my schedule doesn't allow for me to wait for him after 7, let's say he gets home late. But those are things that you guys can start maybe establishing and talking about them. But I really like this conversation starter.
I love it. I've learned a lot as well.
Beautiful. Yeah,
it's hard though, guys. It's hard. Like, we can't sit here and say it's all roses. No. It's hard, guys. Me, I'm gonna give you raw. It's hard. But you have to see, what is the vision? What are we trying to build? You know, what's the culture we're trying to create in this relationship? What are we trying to do? We're not just jollying for the sake of emotions. Can I tell you, jollying and like first 3 years of marriage is fun. You're getting tickled. It's beautiful. After that, you need to start being deliberate. You're working here.
I think after the first year, the tickles, sharp. Okay, now let's focus.
Yes, you know? Let's focus. Where are we going? What are we doing? You know, for this thing to get to happily ever after, to forever, it takes work. You know, love is a beautiful thing, but love needs a lot. It needs wisdom, it needs commitment, it needs conversation. It's work. So we don't.
But be intentional. But be intentional. If you're both intentional and you are both in the ring fighting, then it's worth it. You know, and there's no use fighting something when your partner is not there. It doesn't work like that. As long as you're fighting for this vision together, then
it's a team thing.
We'll take our L's. We'll wear our loser signs of pride. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you love this video, share it, you know, comment down below. Let us know what some of your boundaries are, even if you're not in a relationship, but some of the stuff that you have learned that you want to take into your relationship. And remember, when it comes to boundaries, some boundaries are personal and then some of them are for the relationship. So discover and find out what are the personal boundaries that you have, and then sit with your partner in a light-hearted way, you know, and talk about, you know, what are our boundaries, you know, not in an offensive way, but even if they've made mistakes before or you've made mistakes before, go back and say, let's build this again, you know. And yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy that one. I'm her PA, so
I'm here.
If you've got questions, I mean, here as best as we can, you guys will probably be able to access her. I hope, maybe via the comments. I know sometimes you can.
I do read the comments sometimes.
Yeah, you can just scroll whenever you have time, because she's got what, 4 kids, 3 kids.
You're like, I was like, do you have 5 kids though? I'm like, no, I'm still at 3. Okay, please. 3 kids, you know, full-time working mommy and a full-time wife and a sister, a daughter, a friend. She does it all. So yeah, when she has time, she'll comment below. Yeah.
Until then, just don't have to deal with me. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.
Awesome.